Hello, welcome to the Daily English News program on Azərbaycan Televiziya with the most important events of the day. I'm Gülər Hətamova. As previously reported, President İlham gave an interview to local television channels on January 10. Detailed answers were provided to questions on 20 topics that are currently relevant to the agenda.
Son 20 ilin tarixi göz qabağındadır və əsas məsələ ondadır ki...
Answering journalists' questions on various issues, President İlham said a new era in the modern history of Azerbaijan began after 20th September when the anti-terrorist operation in Karabakh ended. The head of state emphasized that Azerbaijan has achieved its main goal, the complete restoration of the country's sovereignty, and today, Azerbaijan is one of the strongest countries in the world. From the perspective of the processes occurring in our country, including the political, military, and other spheres, this event was the final exclamation point, marking all the works we had accomplished thus far. As we begin 2024, we do so as a fully sovereign nation and people, said the head of our state, emphasizing that September 20th marked the beginning of a new era in our modern history. The president noted that Azerbaijan's path until September 2023 was purposeful and aimed at achieving its goals. The head of our state also stated that the anti-terrorist measures taken on September 20th were successful and professional. Separatists were given no choice and would have been destroyed if they did not surrender. The head of state stressed that justice has prevailed and the country has achieved its rightful goal. However, the president expressed regret that the major players in the international community did not share this opinion. President İlham emphasized that despite attempts to blame Azerbaijan and use various pressure mechanisms against it, the country achieved justice through a political and diplomatic campaign on the international level, which placed great importance on the victory in the Second Karabakh War. The president of Azerbaijan stated that following the end of the Second Karabakh War, Armenian residents of Karabakh approached state representatives with proposal to establish contacts. The Azerbaijani side did not refuse these proposals. The head of state emphasized the importance of this. The goal was to fully restore sovereignty and to assure the population living there that they can live comfortably and safely within the framework of a single Azerbaijani state. President İlham stated that the determination of the route and construction of the new Lachin-Khankendi highway was a significant event. The establishment of a checkpoint on the Lachin road laid the foundation for the events of April 23rd. By building a new road, we were also able to reclaim the city of Lachin, underscored the head of our state. The president noted that France has openly begun to conduct anti-Azerbaijan activities without any other factors masking it. Azerbaijan will contribute to exposing French neocolonialism. President İlham described the desecration of the monument to Azerbaijani poetess Khurshid Banı in France as a moral low point. He also highlighted that during the occupation, Armenian separatists had dug up her grave in Ağdam. This draws a clear analogy between the two events. President İlham emphasized the need for unhindered passage in the Zengezur corridor, specifically in the section between Zengilan and Ordubat. He stated that cargo, citizens and vehicles traveling within Azerbaijan should be able to pass freely without inspections or customs administration. Failure to do so will result in the continued closure of borders with Armenia. Regarding the peace agreement, the head of state stated that the basic conditions for signing a peace treaty between two sovereign states have been created. Assistance is welcome but not required. Guarantees are not necessary. And if it is signed in a bilateral format, it should be signed. President İlham emphasized that assistance should not be forced. With regards to the upcoming early presidential elections, the president noted that it's due to the restoration of sovereignty over the entire territory of the country after the end of anti-terrorist measures in Karabakh. Elections should mark the beginning of a new period, said the head of our state. Regarding the Great Return program, the head of state highlighted our main achievement, the return of former displaced persons to 5 settlements. This includes the cities of Lachin and Fizuli, as well as the villages of Ağali, Talush and Zabuk, which are already being revitalized. The return of former IDPs to the settlements will continue this year. The investment program for this year has already been discussed several times and will be approved in the coming days. The investment program for Karabakh, Eastern Zengezur and other areas in our country is our primary tool for reconstruction, noted the head of our state. President İlham stated that our position on border delimitation is fair and logical. To expedite the process, expert groups should be created to survey the area and establish the border accurately. Currently, the border is only conditional. During the opening ceremony of the Serbia-Bulgaria gas interconnector, the head of state highlighted the growing potential of renewable energy in Azerbaijan. The Caspian region is becoming a key player in Europe's energy transition. Furthermore, the head of state mentioned successful activities within the non-aligned movement in the upcoming COP29 in Baku, which is significant from a global perspective. During the 3-hour interview, President İlham addressed nearly 20 topics.
Polling stations were established in Xankəndi, Əsgəran, Ağdərə and Xocalı. Observing the polling stations in the territories liberated from occupation is free. This was reported during the meeting dedicated to equal pre-election campaigning opportunities and the basis of the activities of media subjects in the elections. At the meeting organized by the Central Election Commission, Media Development Agency, Audiovisual and Press Councils, it was emphasized that the media will participate in this election with great responsibility as in previous years.
During the event dedicated to the basis of the activity of media in the elections, the participants were informed about the role and responsibilities of the media during the election process, publicity and provision of transparency, pro-election campaign and the election day.
Media xalqımızın tarixində əhəmiyyətli rol oynayacaq.
As it is the case in previous years, the media will cover with great responsibility the elections scheduled for February 7th, playing an important role in the life of Azerbaijani people. At the same time, it is likely that fake news against any candidate can be spread in the media. In those instances, the professional media must demonstrate its stance on this issue.
The professionalism of Azerbaijani media while covering the election process was emphasized.
Azerbaijani journalists who have made worthy contributions to the mobilization of our society for the sake of patriotism, high national consciousness and higher goals must always demonstrate principled position, uphold the interests of Azerbaijan statehood in a situation where campaigns based on fake and false information are on the rise globally, ensure the rights of our citizens to obtain complete and correct information, and do their best for the progress of our society.
The event also touched on the issues of compliance with the requirements of the election code during the pre-election campaigns in television and radio.
Airtime allocated for the candidates should not be less than 3 hours per week. Free airtime is divided among candidates on equal terms. The public broadcaster must also reserve additional time for paid broadcasting. Private broadcasters are free to conduct pre-election campaigns. They must inform the Central Election Commission of their desire to do so. The Audiovisual Council, as a state body that carries out oversight in the audiovisual field, carries out monitoring related to the pre-election campaign. Also, the Audiovisual Council constantly monitors compliance with all the requirements of the election code regarding pre-election campaign on television and radio.
The meeting also discussed the holding of elections for the first time in the territories liberated from the occupation. It was noted that 26 polling stations were established in those areas.
Separate polling stations were established in Xankəndi, Əsgəran, Ağdərə and Xocalı. We have already set up a polling station in Xankəndi. The polling station was set up in a building which was once occupied by the separatists. The polling stations established in the liberated territories must serve as an example to the polling stations created elsewhere.
During the event, an exchange of views on different topics and questionable issues was held.
The State Committee report clearly shows traces of Armenia. This was stated by the Deputy Chairman of the State Committee for Work with Religious Organizations, Sayavush Haydarov, at the conference, Politicization of Religion, Harmful Influence. It was noted that in the world, religions are becoming an instrument of political imperialist interests, and the process of exploitation of beliefs is underway. Today, the criteria of human rights and freedom of religion are becoming an instrument of pressure for some great powers.
The religious environment in Azerbaijan is currently stable and transparent, with a high level of religious solidarity. This unity was further strengthened during the Patriotic War, as the freedom of religious belief in our country is based on strong foundations. Regarding the information released by the US State Department, it is important to note that it is based on biased and incomplete information, and therefore cannot be considered a comprehensive report. It is important to note that the guarantee of freedom of religion in Azerbaijan is not only a fundamental right of religious individuals, but also a crucial component of national security.
This year, Azerbaijan will welcome several international hotel brands as part of its efforts to develop tourism in Karabakh. The Forum of Tourism Industry subjects recently discussed the need to prepare the tourism sector to a high standard for COP29, which will be hosted in the country. Azerbaijan's stability and safety, as well as its proactive and influential approach, make it a trusted host for events of this scale. These advantages distinguish Azerbaijan from other countries.
As we prepare to host COP29, it is important that we all strive towards a common goal and effectively carry out our assigned tasks. Our country has the potential to showcase its tourism industry to the world through this event, and we must seize this opportunity to further its development. As members of the tourism industry, we're fully committed to supporting the event at the highest level.
You can get in touch with us by contacting AzTV hotline number 051-511-1956, through which you can report events you encounter as well as share your suggestions and remarks. You can also contact us via our WhatsApp and Telegram accounts. That was all for today. Thank you for being with us. Goodbye.